drop.
Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Ferda Tunez. I'm Wyatt Liam and I'm joined by my co-host Liam MacArthur as usual.
How's it going, guys?
And we have our very first special guest in the building, a good friend of ours and upcoming artist, Matthew Zeitler. How you doing?
Yo, what's up, guys? I'm super hyped for this, and I'm going to talk about my music.
Yeah, ready to go. Unfortunately, Gianmarco, our second co-host, couldn't make it today. We're struggling getting our schedules together, and this week was This and last week was fuckery for
for sure.
I think we can all say that.
He's sponsoring my brews for the month, so it's okay.
A much needed apology is in order. Unfortunately, we missed last week. Like I said, it was just kind of an insane week for all of us. We all had a lot of plans, like with each other, without each other. So much apologies for that, guys. We'll be back coming every Friday, every week by 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So sorry again, guys, for missing last week. We'll stay on top of schedule from now on as best we can. So our special guest, Matthew Zeitler, has been a good friend of ours for many, many years. And I'd say about, 3-4 years ago you started music?
Yeah, about 3 years ago, I started, just making beats on FL Studio that were probably pretty trash. Actually, I know they were trash, but, I just kind of worked my way up from there. I got into singing in, 2017 and just kind of, kept doing vocals from there. And now I like producing my own stuff that I sing over.
Would you say that, 2017, when you started, singing, was that when you started, taking it, seriously?
No, probably not. Honestly, I think the thing is, actually, I didn't even have songs on Spotify for the longest time. I was just posting stuff on SoundCloud. I just like doing it. Obviously I would love for my stuff to get big, right? Even back then when I was just starting. But the thing is, I was just posting on SoundCloud, not really promoting anything, right?
It's just more of a hobby, right?
Yeah. And then eventually, I made the first song I got on Spotify was the song I made with Neptune. I made Illusion, and we produced that together. And I sang on it, and he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna get it on Spotify." And I was like, "You can do that? You just get something on Spotify, right?" I didn't even know.
It's
and then I knew you could, but I thought it was a bigger process, right? And then we did that, and people loved it, and so I kept making music, right? And then I'd say I started really taking it seriously in January because I dropped out of school, and now I'm solely focused on music, and I got plans to go to LA and a bunch of other things, right?
100% in there, right?
Yeah.
I like
sure.
it though. And I think we've all agree, and Gianmarco, if he was here, he would 100% agree that your music and what you've shown us and just the little snippets we get on Snapchat have just been improving over the years.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Just constantly.
100%.
It's just always find...
The sounds really evolved.
Yeah.
I remember hearing your early shit, and then to now it's just
it's a lot different.
Huge difference.
And I feel like that's most artists too. You start finding your own sound, which is what I like doing. But I still like to make things that are really different too at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And I think everything you've released this year with Hopeless Love, the album came out early this year, and the Distortions EP, what was that, June
19th?
June 19th, yeah. It's it's honestly incredible. I really fucks with it. And I'm it's not even just you're a good friend of mine and I'll say that. I really think there's talent there and loads of potential, and I think you're just slowly unlocking that.
Yeah, and I mean that too. You guys are my friends, so I feel like if it wasn't good, you guys would tell me.
Definitely some of us would. I know.
Yeah,
I know that for sure.
But yeah, and and me too. As I've since I've done this for a while now too. If I make something that I know isn't that good, I wouldn't even be sharing it. I wouldn't have completed the project. I would have been all right, yeah, I'm gonna cancel this. You know, and just kind of back away from it. But no, you really do. Even though you're always the thing is, you're always gonna pick out the worst things in your own song. So if I'm listening to something that I made and I'm really happy with it, I feel like it's probably pretty good. I don't know, maybe some people might be different, but I feel like that's how it works for me usually. If I like something, then it's pretty good to me,
Yeah,
because
it's definitely a good like process to have, or like critique of your own
Yeah.
music, to just kind of go into it with an open mind.
Yeah,
critical thinking type of
it
thing.
definitely like, and a lot of people would agree too. If you spend too much time on the same project, like, you know, and you're always picking out the flaw, like you can spend so long on it and it won't, you know, like it won't go anywhere. Sometimes you just have to show people, and if they listen to it, especially like other producers too, if they listen to it and they go, sounds good to me, you're just like, oh, okay. I guess, you know, it wasn't as bad as I thought, like, because you're gonna pick out everything, right? And especially if you
turn into a perfectionist.
Yeah, which is like, you know, and I say this too, like, so, like you can be happy with a track, but most artists I've talked to about this will say that you're never really like done it. You could always change something, but you can be happy with it enough that you're like, you know, I like this and I can release this, and people agree that it sounds good, right? So, but you know, that's why remixes exist, because somebody always has another way they could put something.
Yeah, 100%. I always I see that with a lot of artists too. Like even like I follow Kanye heavy, and he's always been known to be like a perfectionist with his music. But there's a lot of songs that are out, and a lot of just like interviews I've heard of people saying where he's just kind of like, yo, like it's good enough. Like I'm not gonna work on this for fucking years.
Honestly.
You know what I mean? Like I think it's great, and it'll just like release it when like,
I agree with that for sure.
Yeah,
you know,
once there's that like consensus of like, all right, like I think it's good, everyone thinks it's good, I don't need to stress and kill myself over trying to make like the perfect song type of thing, you know what I mean?
Avicii was the same way, actually.
Yeah,
like related to electronic, like he worked on his albums like hard before he released them.
You got to appreciate that hard work, and
for sure.
Just anything like that. But let's talk about the EP for a minute. Distortions came out last month. When did you start working on that, or what was there like a key moment or something that just inspired it and made you just full out make this EP and drop it?
I had released Hopeless Love already, and then I'm pretty sure I started Distortions in May. I started it very like, I'm pretty sure I released Hopeless Love in, I don't even know it off by heart. I think it was April. I think late April.
Yeah.
But I released Hopeless Love, and then
it was a good album. I like that one.
So yeah, I released Hopeless Love, and then I was like, okay, I want to make an EP. And the main reason for that is that I wanted to make something with a huge similar theme, because Hopeless Love have that theme, but I just wanted something that was like shorter and easier to work on individual songs for longer, right? So I immediately wanted to do that EP. So I started working on it. So May 1st is when I dropped Hopeless Love. Sorry, I was just searching it up. Right? I wanted to know. I thought it was May. So yeah, right after Hopeless Love, I pretty much, I would say I started working on Distortions maybe like 2 weeks later, right? And in terms of an EP, like, yeah, I probably did drop it pretty quick. I have had the whole thing done in like a month, but you know, I spent a lot of time on it still. And yeah, so I wanted to do this EP, and I started with the first song, which is the first song on the EP, and I made it. And
Lies, right? Yeah, that was my favorite.
So
one. I like that.
A lot of people told me they liked that one, and you know, like I never know what songs are gonna do that well. Like I do, like some occasionally, you know, and most people agree with this too. You'll make a song and you know it's a good song, right? Like you're like, this, like people are gonna bump this, and for sure.
Like it has that vibe. That
exactly.
feel.
Like
it's kind of undeniable.
But you know, like that song in particular, I actually didn't think would be the most popular, but it was, right? So at least most people tell me that's their favorite. So I started, you know, I did that song, and then I thought, okay, like I like this, I can build something around this, and you know, I started working on the EP. Pretty much like, you know, it was intended from the start. Like I wanted to make an EP, but I feel like finishing the first song, you know, and you get that atmosphere to it, you're like, okay, like now it's starting, you know.
100%, man. I was really proud of it. I liked it a lot, and if you're interested in some, what would you call your sound? It was, you said
I've described it as like indie electronic, indie pop. Yeah. I feel like that's the best way I can classify it.
That is a much better. My first thought at least was just kind of just like EDM chill wave type.
Yeah.
Of thing. But on it, that's much better. Like indie pop,
I feel
electronic.
Like it's, indie electronic, indie pop.
If you're looking, if you're looking for that type of sound, go check out Distortions EP, Matthew Zeitler, Apple Music, Spotify. You can find it pretty much everywhere. Right? Yeah, and if you like that, check out his other album too, Hopeless Love. I thought they were both great listens, and
Oh, 100%.
Pretty short and sweet, and just I enjoyed them a lot, and I think people will come around to like your sound, and really, I think you'll grow a fan base, man.
And you know, that's the thing, like and I tell people this a lot too, like that's the thing I want the most out of from being an artist. Like it's just for people to hear my stuff. Like that's it, you know, like obviously the numbers would look good, the streams are high, but you know, I love just the idea of people knowing my songs and listening to it. I think that's so cool, and that's what I want the most for being an artist.
Yeah, that would definitely be a great feeling. And you also have the look too. If you've ever seen a picture of Matt Zeitler, if you know him, he definitely looks like one of those little skinny white guys that makes electronic bangers.
And
you know what I mean? Like,
and is a master at flipping the switch.
Yeah, Matt's been flipping the switch forever, yo. Like and the new you got some new Spotify pictures just last week on my birthday when we were at the waterfront. No, literally, I was just like, yo, like you said like like Martin Garrix, any of these other electronic artists up there with him, like boom, it'd be the same picture type of thing. Like I love it, man. So I'm hella excited for the future of what your music holds, your career, and I'm always looking forward to it, man. When you said you were releasing the EP, and we had heard some of the snippets just from stuff you sent us on Snapchat, I was hella excited because it sounded great, and everything you send to us or post on your Instagram. Honestly, it just keeps getting better. And
thank you.
Yeah, 100%.
I honestly appreciate people sharing my stuff like so much. Like you know, some people don't think like they don't, you know, they don't share because they, you know, they think like, oh, I don't have that many followers. Like, you know, what's me clicking that button gonna do? But it does a lot. And think about what you do for other artists too. Like when you hear a good song, you share it, right? So it's like it helps a lot. It honestly does.
You got anything on the come up you want to share with the podcast?
I've got a bunch of songs actually right now that I'm working on. Okay. I got another one I'm working on with Neptune that I really do think is going to do really well.
You guys actually work really well together.
Yeah.
Far Apart and Illusions, right?
Yeah, Far Apart was the one that did the best.
One of them blew
we're
up.
sitting at like 51,000 streams, I think, on it. But
holy shit.
Yeah, so we're working on a new one that I think may even do better. I don't know, you know, like I really do like the sound of it, but I also got some songs I'm working on myself, and I think what I'm trying to do now is release an EP where just the sound is completely different in every song. So it's unlike the last one where the atmosphere is the same and they like fully transitioned and sounded the same. This one's going to be just completely different. All just really good songs that I worked really hard on. So I just want to see how that does, you know, like just spreading my sound around in different ways.
Yeah, experiment a little bit.
Yeah,
I
for
fucks
sure.
with it heavy, and definitely looking forward to that one.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
So you heard it here first. Matt Zeitler dropping an EP tomorrow.
Look out for it. It's out right now. Apple Music. Pre-order the vinyl now. It's already out.
It's just a bunch.
You heard it here first.
It's just a bunch of unfinished songs, just like
all unmixed,
just abruptly ending, and it's just like, all right, guys. Like me talking in between, I'm just like, yeah, guys. So like, I didn't finish this one, but like, yeah, it's pretty sick. Like,
it's all just that old distorted like XXX SoundCloud stuff. Just.
Oh fuck.
So again, if you're interested in Matthew Zeitler's music, Apple Music, Spotify, anywhere, Hopeless Love and the Distortions EP, you can find them, check them out. Hope you guys like them as much as we did.
Yeah, 100%. Go check them out. Show them some love.
So moving on to the news of the last 2 weeks since we missed last week. We got quite a bit to get into, so I'm just going to kind of plow through most of these, but there is some we need to highlight. A$AP Rocky is currently locked up or being held in Sweden over there was a video, it literally...
It's him, like, full-on tossing a guy, but you don't... There's no backstory to it.
Yeah, but you do see... He did say, like, I don't know if you saw, it was on his Instagram, he said, like, there were, like, drug addicts, like, following him around, and it was, like, there was pictures of them, and there was, like, so many videos that came out, and it's just, like, it's kind of just, like, undeniable evidence that it was self-defense.
No, it 100%.
Like, it was just
this
full
is what
on.
Everyone is claiming it is, and... Yeah, 100%. I believe it. Like,
yeah, and it's literally
he's
like
a superstar.
Yeah, and there's literally so much video footage of them, like these guys literally just like getting up in their face and stuff, and these guys are just like, "Yo, just go away, just walk away." Like like the ASAP mob or whoever they were with. Like I know there's a couple of his friends locked up with him too. But like it's just fucked. Like free Rocky, bro. Like Rock out of anyone for this to happen to, I wouldn't expect Rocky.
And this looks like super bad on Sweden. Like you see all these tweets supporting like free up Rocky, and Schoolboy Q and Tyler the Creator have come out saying, yeah, like fuck Sweden.
Yeah,
I'm
like
not
no more
Sweden.
Yeah, Tyler straight said no more Sweden for me, and ASAP Nast said it too. He I saw him quote tweet it. And people were like cheesed at him, and I saw him like he went back and forth with a few fans who were just saying like, "Yo, like, oh, you making too much of a big deal out of this." To be like, bro, you like, yeah, it's like Sweden's government, and it's obviously not like those Swedish people, but if that can happen, I'm not coming back, type of thing. That's what like Nast and them are saying, and I'm sorry, it's kind of understandable.
It's whack, bro.
It's just it's a fuck situation.
He's one of my favorites, and now he's facing 6 years.
Yeah, so 6 years,
dude. Like
for like, come on, it's just bullshit.
I don't know. It's a super fucked up situation, and hopefully he comes home soon.
Yeah, I'm sure he will, and I hope he will. If he doesn't, that's some serious like racist bullshit. And like I'm not even the one to just call out like everything is racist, but like that's some.
But like this,
shit.
It's fucked up. It's still ongoing. Like, he's still there.
Like he should be done by now. But
100%.
Yeah, hopefully next week we'll have some better news regarding Rocky and Sweden. We also got some odd news in the city of Toronto. The OVO Fest lineup came out. Drake dropped. And it's kind of interesting. There's a lot of mixed like reviews on Twitter. Basically, he's bringing back B2K, the boy band, and their Millennium Tour. And it's basically, if you've heard of the Millennium Tour, I hadn't, but I looked it up. Basically, it's all these artists from like 2004, 2006. And I don't have the list in front of me, but it was basically all these guys, and everyone I've seen on Twitter is just saying like, yo, is this 2006? Like it's literally this Millennium Tour. It's just like reunion tour of this boy band and these other artists, and he literally just took that tour lineup and just kind of put them onto OVO Fest. And some people are probably hyped, but yeah, I don't know how I feel about. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, just to like bounce off what you were saying. Yeah, like some of these artists, I couldn't tell you who they are. Like,
yeah, if I wasn't like if I was born maybe 2 years later than I was, I don't think I'd know any of those artists. Like nowhere near.
We got B2K here, Mario, Lloyd. Yeah, dude.
What was I recognize one of them. It was the Yin Yang Twins and Chingy.
Twins.
Yeah, I've heard of them, but I just, that's a odd lineup, no?
But it's 100%. It's the weirdest, probably like festival lineup, I guess. I've seen like this year, and I've seen some pretty whack ones, but
it's just strange. You wouldn't expect that at all,
like
especially from OVO Fest.
100%, dude. And like Drake, like he performs on the Monday. He's gonna bring out like how many people?
Yeah. Well, I think like 2 years ago, or
he brought out like
Ray Shremmerd, Weeknd, Travis Scott.
It's
like
crazy.
Everyone came out. But
yeah, it's definitely an odd lineup, and sorry, I don't intend copying tickets.
Yeah, not my thing either way. But if you're a fan, OVO, Drake, and you're into that thing, I saw some people like, yo, B2K, sign me the fuck up. And I'm like, all right, yo.
It's probably like the 26-year-olds, probably like the 30-year-olds.
Hey, man, have a good time, man.
Hey, yeah.
OVO Fest coming up soon.
Lit.
It's probably going to be a good time.
Flip the switch.
Chance the Rapper seemed to re-release all of his old mixtapes, 10-Day, Acid Rap, and Coloring Book on vinyl and put them all up on streaming services. And he also released the pre-order for his new album coming up. It's sometime this month. We just know it's in July.
It's gotta be soon.
He keeps saying July. Soon. He's been saying July since like fucking like March, I swear, or some shit like that. So it should be out soon. I don't know.
He released a date like a while ago, and then now he's switching it up, saying like, oh, it might not drop on this date.
Yeah.
So I don't know, dude. Like, it's a wild card at this point, but July.
Yeah, it is a wild card, but I'm still intrigued, obviously, and excited for it. Moving on from there, the Double XL freshmen, they've started dropping their freestyles. So far, we got Megan Thee Stallions, DaBaby, Rico Nasty, and YBN Cordae. And I think all of them individually killed that shit.
Yeah, dude. Like, they're all so fucking hard.
It all sounded
And
good.
The bars are just unreal. Like, it's already better than last year's.
Yeah, easy.
Like, so
Megan Thee Stallion and DaBaby's freestyle alone like blew me away. Wow. Cordae's was incredible. It was very short though, like a little too short for me, but he still killed that shit. And Rico's had so much personality. Like, you really, like, if you didn't know Rico and you listened to that freestyle and saw her what she was doing, like, yeah, you know her now.
yeah, like Rico unleashes her personality, I think, on like almost every track almost.
She's very charismatic and always.
And her outfits during her performances, they're out there, but
Definitely.
fuck, I'm digging it.
She's wild, man. I'm fucking with her heavy. In a little bit of movie news, the new Lion King movie that is coming out, I think next week.
Yeah.
There's 2 albums coming out of that. Obviously, the Lion King soundtrack, and Beyonce is curating a companion album, and it's featuring international artists. It's called The Gift, and it's coming out July 19th. So
I'm excited for new Beyonce.
I'll
take it.
I'll
dude.
always
like,
be excited for new Beyonce. That should have. I feel like that has to be good. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, she hasn't dropped. I don't think she's dropped a trash album.
Not in my opinion. I don't believe so.
Yeah.
And Beyonce with international artists accompanying the Lion King movie, like that.
A1.
That's just gonna be fire. So definitely excited for that. Nas finally announced the Lost Tapes 2 is coming July 19th. Basically a compilation of, I think in like 2001 or something, 2002, he dropped the Lost Tapes, and it was basically just a compilation of songs that didn't make his albums. And it was pretty hyped, and he's been like teasing number 2, I'm pretty sure, like ever since. So if you're a Nas fan, definitely check that out. It's coming July 19th. Yeah, there's a lot of good production credits on it too. I saw Swizz Beatz, Pharrell, Kanye. Like, it looked stacked.
Wow.
So I don't know.
Just wow.
I'm hyped. Rich Brian also announced a new album called The Sailor coming July 26th. I know Gianmarco and I are definitely going to be right on top of that as soon as it comes out. I liked his last album, Amen, a lot. Wasn't a fan of the new single.
It was really slow for his like.
Yeah, and like
taste.
even on his last album, I liked the kind of moodier tracks, kind of slower tracks. I thought they had like his flavor to it, and they were really good. But this new one, I wasn't crazy about. So definitely checking out the album though. Definitely still excited for it. We'll see what these got for us. Moving on to new releases of the week. It's not a very new release now, but I definitely want to cover Bandana a little bit. Freddie Gibbs and Madlib. I physically can't stop listening to this fucking album.
I don't think any album that's released, like, mark my words, an album that's released after this, nothing's touching it. Like, I think it could be album of the year, but
it definitely is right now for me.
Dude, like
so far for sure. It met my expectations, and it was like I expected it to be like as amazing as it is, and but it really is. It's that thing like when you have really high expectations for something and it meets it, and you're so gratified, and you just finally have this. Like, I'm just so happy we finally have the album, and we can just cherish it. I love it so much.
Yeah, dude, like it's unreal. Like, it's really good. It's between this and Igor for me, but we'll
100%.
get into that at the end of the year.
Yeah, definitely. But Bandana, if you're looking for a little underground like cocaine rap type of shit, that shit is so gritty.
Gangsta rap and shit. Oh.
It's so good. Just a genuine quality all around. There's other themes, obviously. It's not all just cocaine rap, but it's just a all around great rap album. Just like production wise, everything is just fantastic, I think, and I'm sure most of us would agree.
100%.
Moving on from there, Dreamville saw fit to finally drop Revenge of the Dreamers 3, and I'm only a little bit way through it. I've only listened to 4 or 5 of the tracks, actually like 6, including the singles they dropped. But from what I've heard, the Dreamville fans are definitely going to be happy and like satisfied with it. I don't know. The first track sounded okay. I still like Down Bad, that second track. I played for you a little earlier. That one was a good one.
It was like, I didn't really expect this to be like, oh my God, like this is a sick album. Like, no, like it, and I'm going to quote Jonesy on this, because Jonesy is a huge J. Cole fan, if you know him.
Good friend of ours, loves J. Cole. Many arguments have been had between us.
He walked into the party, just was like, Revenge of the Dreamers was trash, and just left.
I looked at him, I'm like, really?
I was like, oh.
He's like, I fucking hated it. And I'm like, really? And another good friend of mine, Johnny, who I didn't know to be a very big J. Cole fan, he even said he's not like the biggest, craziest, but he said it was his like album of the year. Like, he loves it. He was like, yo, you gotta listen to it. And I'm like, oh, I'll skim through it, bro. Like, I don't know.
I'm not huge on like bass, whatever.
He's always been so bland to me.
And J. Cole, like, I only listen to Forest Hill Drive still. Like, that's it. That's all I'll listen to. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's just not my favorite group. Like, I love JID.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's it.
I see the potential with
Earth Gang.
Earth Gang's
course,
cool. Yeah. I definitely see potential in them. I want to check out like whatever next shit they drop. But I don't know. It just kind of gave me the same vibe of like the Beast Coast album, where it's like you can throw all these amazing artists into a pod, but it doesn't mean it's automatically going to be good. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you got Maxo Cream, you got DaBaby on there, and they drop nice verses, but like the songs just aren't great, and they definitely don't like have me like coming back to them. And that song Lambo Truck fucking sucked. Oh my good God, I've never heard of.
They were hyping that track up like bare though. Like there's videos of them in the studio, and J. Cole's like, "Oh, this is hard."
Yeah, because Reason, he had a good verse on it. I love him. He's on TDE, but the hook was like probably the worst hook I've heard this year. It was so bad.
Dude.
I don't know. Here,
enough said.
Definitely enough said. Before the Dreamville squad comes and kills me for saying Middle Child is kind of trash. Sorry, guys.
I'm about to move out of Canada.
I don't know. I'm still like the only one who thinks Middle Child is a completely bad song. Like
I really liked the beat.
Yeah,
though.
you and Gianmarco, him and Gianmarco said the beat was so hard on that. I don't see it. I think that song is just all around bad.
Like,
and I guess I'm the only one, but I don't know, man.
J. Cole's vocals on it were definitely like corny as fuck. Like it's J. Cole, but like the beat was fucking hard. I don't know why. I just fucks with that beat.
I definitely like see it. It was very minimal. I just didn't think it. I don't know. It didn't have like enough like power. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
When I don't know. When I heard it wasn't just like it. When it dropped, everyone was like freaking out. When I heard it, I was like, I don't know. I don't really see the hype.
Yeah.
But that's most of J. Cole's music for me, unfortunately. I don't know. Maybe I'm still waiting for him to really change my mind. I thought KOD was going to do it. When I heard that first track, I was like, oh, fuck, here we go. Like, this is a J. Cole album I'm going to love.
It's super forgettable. Like,
yeah,
I haven't touched it
that
since
whole
last
the rest
year,
of that album just wasn't good. Just the first track that blew me away.
I think, in all honesty, like, J. Cole's actually made some pretty decent beats, and maybe he should stick to that in the future. Because, like, from a production standpoint, like, he's pretty good with it.
Yeah, he's definitely not bad. And he's like, I would never say he's like a bad artist, a bad rapper, a bad anything. I just think he's criminally overrated.
Yeah, and
like people who say he's like top 5 of the decade, like no, bro.
He's not touching Kendrick, bro.
Nowhere near Kendrick, nowhere near Joey Badass, nowhere near Earl Sweatshirt. This is my opinion. I don't know. I'm sure. But I'm sure some people heard that and fucking fell out of their chair because some people are crazy about J. Cole. But me, I'm just
I can see the attraction to him though, like why people like him. So good for him. He has a huge fan base, but man, all you fans that just wild out on Twitter, just relax, bro.
We all all of us like super fans need to calm down, but J. Cole fans they're kind of known breed. Too. It is a special kind of
you get those tweets every now and then. You're like, what the fuck is going on?
Like, and I think it started way back when like Forest Hills Drive dropped, and there was that one tweet that blew up where it was like somebody was like, you really need like a certain level of intelligence to understand and vibe with J. Cole's music. And say, yo,
there's a song literally about losing virginity. virginity.
Put a
dog.
sock in it, bro. You fucking fuck's sakes. Like, yeah, Wet Dreams and Folding Clothes. I'm sorry, that song.
That was on For Your Eyes Only. Yeah.
So bad.
It's
okay.
not for me.
Yeah.
Okay, we're just gonna cut out the J. Cole rant. Sorry, J. Cole fans.
I'm sorry, Dreamville
I respect
fans.
him as an artist.
It's
trust
just
me, but
yeah. If
he's
we had
just not for me.
If we had maybe like four hosts on Ferda Tunez, maybe that guy would
we'll
be
get
a J. Cole
Jonesy
fan.
on here. We'll get Jonesy on here.
Honestly, we should for just like a good like J. Cole episode, and we can hash it out.
Johnny Ham with a special appearance. But
I'm bouts.
All right, go on.
Moving on from there, we got Jaden Smith's new album. It's the title of his last album spelt backwards, so it's I don't know. I'm probably not even gonna waste my time with this one. We skimmed through a little bit of it before this, and it just sounded like the same stuff.
It had a lot of Astroworld appeal to it for me.
That's
a
what
lot of like beats sounded like, oh, this could have been on Astroworld.
I heard a lot of people saying that, yeah. But yeah, the Jaden Smith, it's just I heard so many people just saying like, yo, like he literally like he heard Astroworld and just like tried to do that type shit. I don't know.
He even like distorted his voice in a way.
Was it like the first or second track that you play? You
Yeah.
were playing some of it, and his vocals just sounded so bad. I don't know.
It just wasn't for me. But I mean, the first album was a lot better. Like, what was it?
It was Sire, yeah.
Sire?
It was Sire.
And yeah, like I fucked with Icon. I fucked with another track, but yeah.
Yeah, I think he has potential, but I think he's just trying to do something like very artistically like profound and just this big album. And I think that's what he tried to do with Sire, and maybe I don't know, but I don't think he's just musically talented enough, or at least he's not there yet. I feel like with Jaden Smith, he just always tries to make this big artistic, like, boom, like this album's gonna be like insane and super different and have like every sound, and it's just always, I don't know, at least with the last two, I think they've just completely fallen on their face.
Yeah, 100%. And it's a damn shame just because he has a lot of people behind him, like huge rappers in the game, like Young Thug, like Travis, even like
Cuddy working with him, and Cuddy was he said
Tyler.
Jaden said Cuddy was like mentoring him a lot through his early music career, but all I can do is hope I
really hope people I hope like he develops his
potential just blows up type of thing.
I think he does have potential, but this album just wasn't great for me.
Yeah, I'm not really even gonna check it out, to be honest. Just from what I heard,
Anthony Fantano gave it a 3.
Hey, I won't let that stop me from listening to an album. But if it's Jaden Smith and I heard the last one, I'm gonna just skip this one, guys. Sorry, it's just not for me. Moving on from there, Post Malone dropped a new song, Goodbye, with Young Thug, and I thought it wasn't bad. I thought it was like kind of good, but the Young Thug part was way out there.
I love Young Thug, but it is probably my least favorite verse by Young Thug.
Because it's always been talked about Young Thug uses his voice as an instrument type of thing, and I totally feel that and I get that, but there's definitely moments, and like I'm a fan. I love when he does that shit. I love when he does that like outrageous wild shit, but he definitely takes it too far sometimes, to the point where it's just like, bro,
this is one of those times.
Like, yeah, and we're to the point where it's just like, yo, this flat out just doesn't sound good. Like, it just sounds like you're screaming in the mic type of shit. And like, I love that whole like voice as an instrument thing, and he does that quite well a lot of the time, but again, he just kind of stretches it a little
It was
much.
just, it was way too much on this. Posty dropped a strong verse, though.
I definitely liked his shit. Yeah, and the hook was definitely a bit of a breakup song. It was a good one, though. I liked it, and I'm always excited for new Post.
New Posty, yeah.
Definitely vibes. I'm not really excited for ever is new Chris Brown music. He dropped an album, Indigo. Didn't check it out. It's probably too long.
I mean, like, I think it's 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Like, go fuck yourself. Like, you gotta pay me to listen to that.
But what I wanted to say is he's in this trend where he did it before Heartbreak on a Full Moon, I think it was called, or something like that.
I think so.
And he's in this vibe of where he just drops this huge album and then won't drop music for a while.
Yeah,
Like he
and
drops this one thing, and that's all the Chris Brown music we're getting for the year.
yeah, it's literally just like, boom, let me just flood it with all these songs that like my fans will probably like, but most of them will be hit or miss. Like Drake was on that track, I think No Guidance, I think it was called.
Yeah.
It sounded trash to me, but it's probably going to be a big hit. I don't know.
It already is, but I'm a bit of a Chris Brown fan, but like I'm not gonna like sit there for 2 hours and listen to this full album.
Yeah,
It's just way too much for me.
I'm definitely the opposite of a Chris Brown fan. I fucking hate the dude, but if you like him and you like the 3-hour albums, shit, enjoy yourself.
This guy has the nerve to drop a deluxe version. That's all I'm gonna say.
How you gonna? Okay, fucking Jesus Christ. Moving on, please. DJ Mustard, or just Mustard now, dropped Perfect 10 album. Sounded all right. The track with Nipsey Hussle was really good. I like that
There
one.
were a few hard tracks on it. It just sounds like another producer album to me, where it's just like this compilation of bangers just in this thing, but some of them don't really work.
Yeah, or they're just not strong enough to be like you'll hear it and you'll be like, okay, like this is fire, but like I'm never gonna like go back and listen to this, or like I'm not gonna like throw this on at a party.
No,
it's just like, and you get these, like you might get these cool collabs from like these type of producer albums, and like sometimes they can be really great. I really liked Mike Will's Ransom 2, I think 2-3 years ago, but yeah, I don't know, they're kind of hit or miss for me. Even Metro Boomin's, I think last year was,
yeah, he dropped
just,
like
not all heroes wear capes,
but yeah. Oh yeah, that's
yeah.
But
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
He's a really good producer, though.
Yeah,
like,
no, 100%, and like so is Metro. But
I don't know. I don't think they should be
like full albums. I'm not. I don't know. I'm not gonna go and listen to a full DJ Mustard album again, type of thing.
No, but if he drops like with like, let's say he drops like a tape with like Travis Scott, like how Metro Boomin did with Offset and 21.
Yeah, see,
like I think like that works
even
really well.
A better one than Travis. Imagine Mustard and YG did.
Yeah, exactly. I just used it as an example, but that'd
fire.
be so hard.
Like that would be insane.
Holy!
You can't tell me that wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I love Mustard sound, and definitely I'll always look forward to whenever I hear that Mustard on a beat, ho. That shit, like, come on, that shit gets you hyped. A bit of a underdog pick. Pouya, a SoundCloud OG, dropped a new album, The South Got Something to Say. And I'm a big fan of Pouya. Have been for probably 2 years now. His last album, 5-5, was super impressive.
I fucked with 5-5.
Yeah, and I really just think he's fucking got it. Like his new album is very it's definitely a lot more emotional, kind of pretty depressing. But man,
I haven't peeped this, so this is all you.
Yeah, no. It's definitely, I would recommend peeping if you liked his last shit. But it's definitely more depressing. There's a couple tracks on here I wasn't crazy about, but I think as an artist, he just keeps getting better. He keeps evolving. And I think like if you're just looking for some new rap, maybe you're in some sad times right now, check out this new album from Pouya. I think he's got some words for you that'll ease your mind a bit, maybe bring you some pain. I don't know.
He did just come to Toronto, actually.
Yeah,
and the show looked sick.
Yeah,
like,
I wanted to go to that.
He's always a good performer.
I saw the last time he was in Toronto with I can't remember who he was with.
Fat Nick?
No, I saw that concert too, but that was years ago. Yeah, no, I can't remember now, but that was a lit fucking concert. He puts on a sick show. He's with, if you know Suicide Boys, Ghostmane, even like X, like those type of guys, he's down with that clique. Like he is a SoundCloud OG, and 100%. So yeah, and it's not bullshit. Like he's really rapping on here. So
yeah, he spits bars.
Just understand that.
That's enough said.
Switching it up a bit, we got Kygo dropped a new track with Whitney Houston, or at least a remix to Higher Love, and that shit was beautiful.
Oh my god, dude! Like,
I love it, man.
It was like such a good remix. Like I said to you, like I couldn't think of a better DJ to do this remix.
Honestly,
like he did. Kygo a while back. The song that actually got me onto his music, "Sexual Healing."
Yeah, the Marvin Gaye
the
remix.
Marvin Gaye remix. Man, it was incredible. And this
was a
is
classic.
the same thing. It's
Yeah,
fucking incredible.
And yeah, like I didn't think, like I saw it and I was kind of skeptical, but it's literally just beautiful. It's just a great remix. I loved it.
Yeah, and
Very summery, just like nothing like crazy unique or special or game changing, but it's just a great fucking
it's a
summery
great
track.
summer track. It's
Great remix.
just in time. I'm
The
looking
vocal
forward.
chops are fantastic as usual with Kygo. I think just super like. She feels
Probably
so
dropped
blessed.
the bag for those fucking
Oh,
vocals.
could
though.
you imagine?
Like, dude,
Higher
like Whitney
love too. Like,
Houston.
that's not a low key
vocal.
track. Fucking hell. That's why he's headlining Veld this year. He needs to bring all his money back for
Veld's
dropping a
paying
sample.
for those vocals, bro.
Solely. He can't even perform the song. He released it and he's not allowed.
Oh fuck.
Back into the rap a bit. Rick Ross dropped a Num Num Juice freestyle over Schoolboy Q's beat, Num Num Juice obviously, and he announced the 10th studio album, Port of Miami 2, and the freestyle was so hard. It was longer than the original song, and he just went off.
I haven't peeped it yet, but yeah, you've been hyping it, so I gotta stop sleeping on Rick.
Hey, I only peeped it once. It was just the freestyle, but like I was like the whole time. It was like 4 minutes, just him snapping, and then I was like, all right, I guess I gotta check out the album when that shit comes out. Like it was just too hard. And Division, she's from OVO, right?
Yeah, he's signed to OVO.
Yeah, he's around this area. He dropped 2 new tracks. I've never been crazy about him, so
He's got a few good tracks here and there. Actually, like he has good potential, but
and he's got that fan base for sure. He's definitely like popping, especially around these parts in Toronto.
I'll visit him every now and then. Like.
Yeah, if you're a fan, check that shit out for sure. So, what would we say is our best new release of the week, Liam? I definitely.
And like obviously I'm going with Bandana.
Yeah, if we're talking about like the last 2 weeks, because everything we talked about, I'm definitely picking Bandana. If we're just picking like the last week, I'll probably pick Pouya's album. I like that a lot.
I'm actually gonna go out of left field and do those double XL freestyles.
Yeah,
because it's about time they dropped.
Honestly,
and it was super hyped that they dropped.
I agree with you, man. That Megan Thee Stallion one, I was shook the whole time, man.
And I'm a big DaBaby fan, so the fact that his dropped first, I was
and he snapped. He
snapped
sounded like
so
like
hard.
he played no games with that. Like he wasn't even being funny in that.
He was serious
went
and
off.
Yeah, if you've seen him, he's like a goofy personality type.
There's always those like tongue-in-cheek punchlines he'll have, but it's not even punchlines, just bars that are just got like I think he said something. Like he's rapping about like it's so. It was a really, it was a really dark, like cynical type of thing, and then he's like, "Oh, I see my bitch. She got her hair up. She looking pretty or some shit." And I'm like, bro, like I fucking love this dude. I'm so excited for whatever he's gonna drop next.
Oh man, the features are gonna be nuts on the next.
Fucking great, man.
Just watch it.
Speaking of DaBaby, we just got some little bit of breaking news. Kenny Beats just posted a video of him just kind of flexing over a little,
Dude,
little
like
little beat in the
was
background.
hard.
Little whistle sounded like in there. That shit sounded hard. I'm ready.
Sounded like a DaBaby beat. Yeah, dude. If you haven't watched The Cave yet, please peep it.
Yeah, Kenny Beats The Cave on YouTube. Such an entertaining series.
It's got Vince Staples was on it. Maxo, Lil Yachty.
Earth Gang was just on it.
Yep.
Yachty killed it. Doja Cat was on it. Yeah, no. It's a great series. You just pulls these guys in the studio, fucks around a bit, makes
Drops
a
a
beat,
freest-
drops a freestyle,
Yep.
and shit's hard. It's hella entertaining.
So yeah, go peep Kenny Beats on YouTube. We support his shit.
Definitely love that fucking Cave series. So fucking awesome. So moving on from there, we're going to do our top 10 segment of the week. And since Matthew Zeitler is a good friend of ours, he's as our first special guest, and he's definitely more of a fan of electronic music than hip hop music. At least hip hop's definitely our number one, at least mine, I would say, and electronic's definitely his. And I'm a huge electronic fan. I think we all are. So we're going to do our top 10 personal favorite electronic albums. So we'll get into it. Oh, I forgot to mention you guys only did 5.
Yeah, I only got my top 5. Sorry,
So-
I'm not the biggest.
No worries. So I'll do a top 10 and we'll get Liam and Matthew's top 5, I guess.
Yeah, you go.
I wanted to do my top 10 because I like my top 10.
No, for sure. Yeah,
I made the list and then everyone was like, "Yo, I only got 5." I'm like, "Fuck." I was proud of my list. So fuck.
All right.
All right. So number 10, number 10, we got "You've Come a Long Way, Baby" by Fatboy Slim. Big classic.
Okay.
Number 9, Sound of Silver by LCD Sound System. Number 8, Homework by Daft Punk. Big classic, huge classic. Number 7, Music Has the Right to Children by Boards of Canada. Odd pick, but I love that one. Number 6, A Moment Apart by Odessa. And well, now we can get into the top 5.
Here we go.
I got Dive by Tycho as my number 5. I know Matthew Zeitler actually put me on to Tycho, like, I don't know, a year ago probably.
Like in October of
I think last year, eh? Yeah, and I love his shit. Like, great chill wave.
Yeah, you put me onto Taiko with Japan, and I bump it to this day.
his new album's coming out this week, tomorrow actually. Fuck.
Oh, that's crazy.
Shit, it is.
Yeah, fuck, I totally forgot to mention
I'm
that.
actually hyped for that.
Yeah, Taiko's dropping midnight.
That's awesome.
It'll be out by the time you hear this right now.
Nice.
So go check that out. But Taiko Dive was just such a great, like, most of his music is really like ethereal and layered and just beautiful, just chill music. I loved it. What do you guys have as your number 5?
A number 5, and before I get into it, some of these are EPs. I'm not a huge electronic guy. Just
honestly, like,
throwing that out there.
some EPs are so good.
Yeah,
some
just
EPs
like-
are better than some albums,
Yeah,
for
like,
sure.
It's just
for
like,
sure.
doesn't matter.
But this one is an album. I got True by Avicii.
Mm.
This was, I think, don't quote me on this, Avicii's debut album.
Yeah.
And it's one of the first electronic albums I actually purchased.
Nice.
So it's like a personal
Definitely
pick for me.
hear that for sure.
See, I love Tycho too, but I didn't put him on my list. Not because I don't think his music's like good enough for my top 5 or anything. It's just I don't know. I really do like Tycho, but it's almost like the albums I did choose, I really do love.
I
So
hear
it's
you
just
that
like-
for sure. Yeah.
And I mean, he would definitely be on. Like, I guess if I did do a top 10, he'd be somewhere on there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I put number 5 as Moving Melodies, ATB.
Ooh, that's a great one. Yeah, we'll get into that. One. That's a great one. Number 4, I have Untrue by Burial. Super dark, kind of trippy, kind of choppy beats. It's great. That's a big classic too. What do you guys got?
I actually got, and this is an EP, I believe, 7 by Martin Garrix.
That is a good EP.
I fucks with that
really
EP
good.
heavy.
Nah,
dude.
Martin Garrix is hard, man.
Well, wait. Isn't it 7 songs?
Yeah.
So then it should technically would be an album. It's supposed to be.
Really?
It depends how short they are, though.
Yeah.
'Cause
I'm gonna check it right now because I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah.
curious. Because like if it's
Album
7,
or
Yeah,
EP,
you could
it's still
Yeah, you
banging.
could
Yeah.
still like even like some artists like label stuff as
Let's see if I
EPs and label stuff at like Kanye's albums last year were only 23 minutes and they were labeled as albums. I know EPs that are like 30 minutes. So
yeah, I'm just curious.
yeah,
I
it's
think
not the
so.
biggest. It's just
I think this one's around.
Yeah, it's an album. It's an
Oh,
album.
it is?
Really?
Oh,
Okay, so-
wait. No, it's not. That's weird.
Oh, it's an EP.
It's you know why?
I think it's like
No,
23
that's
minutes long.
That's
actually.
weird, actually. Because it's 23 minutes long. That's
Mhm.
technically an album. I mean, whatever. I mean,
yeah,
I guess you just
labels
wanted
and
it as an
shit.
EP.
Yeah, you can toss whatever you want on it.
Yeah, who cares?
What do you got?
I put so this artist, like, he's not really like he's technically a form of like indie electronic, kind of like like electronic rock almost in a way too, but stuff's really different. But I count it as electronic, honestly, especially this album, which I chose is Vertigo by Eden. And that album in particular, like, it's got a lot of electronic elements in it, so I would classify it as electronic.
Yeah.
So I put it on my top 5.
Yeah, electronic is a very
Yeah.
wide genre.
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
There's
I feel like
so
as
many
long like
fucking
he uses a
subgenres.
lot of real instruments, but there's also a lot of electronic, kind of like what I do with my music, right? Like, so. I think it
and there's
counts.
always like you can make that like electronic sound with like organic instruments
Yeah,
and
exactly,
sounds and
so.
stuff like that. So yeah, no, it's
I mean, Tycho is a great example of that when you think about all the guitars and stuff, it's
drums
still
and
electronic.
guitars and
Yeah.
stuff. But it's
Yeah,
you couldn't put
exactly.
it into any other genre for
Yeah.
sure. Speaking of like organic and like instruments and shit, I think this album was like the first one that I really found like this is like just a very well produced and just like uniquely produced. It was In Color by Jamie XX.
That's such a good album.
fucking love
That's
that.
so good.
Adore that album. It's so great. It's pretty versatile. There's like a good amount of tracks on there that don't sound like the other, especially the Young Thug track.
That's your number 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great album.
Yeah, and that track 3 on there, Seesaw, is like one of my favorite
that
songs
one.
of all time. Like,
I love that one and Loud Places.
yeah,
Oh, Loud Places is
Oh,
one of my
man.
favorite tracks
yeah. That I think that's gonna be an electronic album that like goes down
Yeah.
as
in
like
the books.
like yeah,
Yeah.
as like one of the best of its time type of thing.
It has to.
Yeah. What do you guys got 3?
I actually got Cloud 9 by Kygo. This
I-
was
I
Kygo's
wanted to put
debut.
that on my list.
Yeah,
It's
I
such a
didn't
good
put
album.
any Kygo on mine, honestly. I do like Kygo though. It's one of those things. Again, the albums I chose are just I really do like them. So.
And that album is like, it's like I remember when I first listened to it, like way back, I wasn't on like EDM like at
you were the
all.
one that showed me that album. I remember
Really?
in like 2016. Yeah,
Holy
you were
shit.
playing it.
I forget who it was. I don't know who it was who showed it to me, but I just remember like I was like, all right, like, and I listened to like a few tracks, and I was like, yeah, like this is cool. But that, like the whole album is like good.
It's
like
really
each
solid.
like each song is solid.
No,
like,
it is. It's a really good album, and it play like it's you could just put it on, and it's just there. You know, like
Yeah.
there's no track that you're like I need to skip this.
Yeah,
you know,
it's
like
super feel good. The melodies are really catchy,
Yeah,
sing
like,
alongable.
Stole the Show was literally like my song for like a year.
Honestly, yeah. There's actually like a lot of memories attached to
Oasis.
that song and that
That's
album.
a good song.
Oh, I love Oasis.
Yeah,
We could
Honestly,
get into this
yeah,
for
we
an hour.
we really could. What do you got, Zeitz?
I got In the Shape of a Dream by AOK, which a lot of people that like. I mean, he's pretty big, but I just really like that album. He had like a lot of different artists in it, and I just like the way it sounded. It's really nice.
Super. I want to check some of these out. I haven't.
Yeah, I'm taking down Zeitler's list as we go on here.
Yeah, I haven't heard those ones. Number 2, I got, and it definitely could have been number 1 for me, but Discovery by Daft Punk. I think it's one of the best electronic albums.
Oh, I
like,
love
period. Like that shit was amazing. Just shaped so much and brought so much to the genre, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they definitely.
And really like propelled it into like the mainstream with like hits, obviously, like One More Time, obviously, and
Yeah.
like, Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger and shit. Like people were just like that shit was popping, like especially that album in their first.
And I wasn't a huge fan of Daft Punk for the longest time until I actually listened to Discovery through. Like it actually put me on to. Well, you put me onto them, but yeah, it definitely made me a fan. So it's a great electronic.
Fantastic definition of a classic, I'd say. Straight up. What do you got, Zeitz? Oh, did I skip over you, Liam?
Yeah.
Oh, I fuck.
It's all good, dude. Yeah,
looking-
fuck me, right?
Looking right at you, and I just said, "Yeah, what's up, Zeitz?"
Yeah,
My bad, Chief. What you got? What you got?
I got a Club Life Volume 5, China by Tiesto. And it's crazy. It's crazy hard.
Yeah.
Like you could put this whole album on at a party and it just bangs.
It just goes wild. Yeah, all of his like club mixes and all the like volume 4, 5, 6,000, whatever. This shit's hard. Like he's a great DJ, fantastic.
I cannot wait to see him again at Veld this year.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's gonna be sick.
I'm so hyped. What do you guys, Zeitler?
I got Life in Boxes by Yo Maze.
Yeah, I haven't heard of
You guys
that
probably
one
don't
either.
even know who he is.
Definitely, like,
I love that album.
Yeah,
though.
I think
it's so good.
I think your number 4 I had like heard of, but that one I'm
My number 1, you guys are gonna know. for
drawing a
sure.
blank. Yeah.
Taking notes right now.
My number 1 is Selected Ambient Works 8592 by Aphex Twin. It's
Ooh.
a lot of just kind of ambient chill wave, kind of trance beats, kind of. It's I love it. Every song on there just like it just kind of like I feel like it's just like, you know, the songs that just kind of like the chords or whatever it is that just like hit your brain waves, it feels like. And you're just like, oh, like it feels like your brain's being massaged. Like it's that type of shit. Like that's what this album fucking does for me. And I don't think I'll ever get tired of it. The first 3 tracks alone are just bring me to another world. Literally. Sometimes.
It's just like, fuck it.
All right, number 1 spot. What do you guys got?
I got In Color by Jamie XX.
There you
Yeah.
go.
I love
think-
that album, dude.
I think where Wyatt put in number 3 or number 1, like if it's in your top 3, it's a solid place.
Yeah,
But,
I
but
love
yeah,
that.
I'm talking. I don't even have it on my top 3. But the thing is, I'm so bad at choosing like a top because I just love so many like albums, and I'm just like, I don't want to order them.
Yeah, it's definitely hard to order them.
I liked what I did with this list just because it's so different and it's a wide range. That's why I did it. It's not necessarily like, but my number 1 is definitely my number 1, and I will stand by that. And that's A Moment Apart by Odessa.
Yeah.
It's my favorite album
Yeah.
of like all time. I just love it.
He actually he put me onto that one. Him and our buddy Chris last year.
I love this album.
And it was my number 6 spot. And God, it's such an experience
So
of an
good.
album. It
It's
really,
such
really
a good
is.
album.
It's like a solid hour, but
Yeah.
like when you're listening to that album can feel like years.
Yeah,
Like,
like
or it
it's
could feel like 10 minutes.
It's-
Like
yeah,
it's
it's crazy.
such production wise, it's so layered. It's
such a
so
good
beautiful.
album.
That's a gorgeous fucking album,
Yeah,
and definitely a solid number
Yeah.
1 spot for sure. Moving on from there, we got our classic of the week, and sticking with the electronic theme and one of the spots on Matthew Zeitler's list, we got a pretty good classic that he put me onto actually a year ago. So I'll let him take it away.
That's ATB, Moving Melodies.
Moving melodies,
It's
baby.
such
There
a
it
good
is.
Melodies that move.
I think we were looking at it, right? Like the album came out in what, 99?
Yeah,
I'm going to search it up right now.
yeah, not 100%, but it definitely has that like old school trance, just like type. I don't know, man. It's
99.
99.
Yeah.
So good, man. I love that one.
Yeah, I love it. It's a great album. It's a perfect classic.
It's just and you said you've been like hearing it since you were a kid, right?
Yeah,
like your parents were on that.
Yeah, I remember hearing like 9 p.m. when I was 3 years old.
9 p.m. If you're gonna listen to one song
To
off
listen
this
to that
album,
one.
or like just go listen to 9 p.m. like till
Because they
Come by
created
ATV.
that sound, like that sound that you hear in their song, like that's theirs. They made that, like
Shit
it's
is-
just
Shit is dope.
yeah.
It's definitely
sure.
a good one. Definitely a strong older electronic album. I always thought I was more into the like old school electronic, like the Fatboy Slim and like stuff like that. But I think I've come to appreciate it all type of thing. And there's so many subgenres of electronic, like
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Yeah, there's
fucking
bare,
many.
dude.
Like I feel like
Tons.
I feel like metal and electronic have like the most subgenres. Like
Mhm.
you,
Yeah.
like if you go to like a hardcore fan and you could talk about just genre like subgenres for like fucking days. But either way, definitely some like old school trancey fire electronic music. ATB, Moving Melodies.
Yep. Go
Our
check it out.
classic of the week.
There it is, baby.
So thank you so much for tuning into episode 4 of Ferda Tunes. Thank you so much, Matt Zeitler, for being our first special guest on
Yeah,
the
no
pod.
problem. That was
Shouts
it
to
was
Matt.
a ton of fun. Definitely would come on here again for sure.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And you can find us on social media at Ferda Tunes with a Z. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can find us. We are on Apple Podcasts now and Google Podcasts. We are still waiting on confirmation from Spotify. So very sorry about that, guys.
Be patient.
Yeah.
We got this.
We're getting on more and more streaming services as we go, but we'll always be on YouTube. So find us there, worst case scenario. And our co-host Gianmarco will be here next week.
Yeah, Gianmarco, I like Corona, Kronenberg Blanc. Like whatever you decide, like I'll take, dude. Like,
Yeah,
it's
I'll,
whatever.
I'll take a bottle or two, and you already know what
Cat Morgan Bold might be a good pick.
Yeah, you already know what type of wine my mom likes, so if you just want to bring her one too, like that'd be
That's
sick.
gas, dude.
Yeah,
That's
you know,
gas.
but it's whatever though. It's whatever. If you miss a week, you miss a week.
These are the consequences.
So sorry again for missing last week, guys. I promise we'll be back on schedule next week. Every episode coming Friday by 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week.
Let's fucking go, boys.